And the Thompson Everest report.
Inspector Adrienne Williams of the Royal Bahamas Police Force embodies poise, dedication, and a steadfast commitment to service. She holds a special place in her heart for the Police Training College. There she finds fulfillment in nurturing and mentoring new recruits, ensuring they are well prepared for the challenges of serving as officers.
We are breaking barriers. We are paving the way.
Although administrative tasks may seem like mere paperwork, this sharp intellect is respected for her no-nonsense approach, inspiring the recruits to stay sharp and maintain good standing.
Mentorship. The persons I come in contact with on a daily basis, I get to greet and meet new individuals, and I get to interact. I get to show them, hey, policing is something that not because we have the authority. Sometimes we can show empathy. Sometimes we can show compassion. You have to ensure that the recruits' welfare is being taken care of. You have to ensure that they're getting the educational knowledge. You have to ensure that they're getting the discipline. You have to ensure that they have welfare issues are being taken care of. You have to ensure that the administrative office is running correctly. We have duplicitous roles here at the Police Training College.
Inspector Williams reflects on how being initiated into the values of law and order from a young age shaped her understanding of discipline and responsibility. She didn't realize at the time that these early lessons would have a lasting impact on her life and career as she progressed through the ranks to become an officer.
I grew up in a rural area where the police were there, their presence were felt, and I wanted to be the change that I saw.
She emphasizes that women add a compassionate approach to policing, noting that the Royal Bahamas Police Force is now much more inclusive of women.
We bring diversity, we bring discipline.
And that's a look at stories making news. Jay, Thanksgiving is around the corner. Opening ceremony happening today.
It was a big opening ceremony. 2 teams from the United States, Arm Bailey, and also some teams from Grand Bahama participating in this year's Thanksgiving basketball tournament.
All right, that's going to be an exciting one to watch. That's coming your way next. But first, a check on the local weather forecast.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
Here in the Caribbean region, our climate is changing, resulting in intense heat as temperatures soar. This increase in temperature is having a significant impact on our energy sector.
With the increase in temperatures, we, of course, are expecting an increase in the use of electricity or cooling, etc. So there's an increased demand on the utility companies to, provide for that overload on their systems.
The hotter it gets, the more energy need there is for cooling among the population, but also the harder it becomes for electricity to be produced. So the efficiency of electricity production is typically also lower when it's really hot.
But there are ways we can help. Simple actions can make a big difference.
There are certain measures that we can take to make sure that we mitigate some of the possible impacts, such as using LED bulbs.
It's up to all of us to take proactive steps. Stay informed and prepared. Together, we can weather this storm. For more information and updates, follow CIMH on X, Facebook, and Instagram.
We are here in the time of need. There's no discrimination. The mission is to relieve the suffering. We volunteer, we deliver care. With donors and partners, we're always here to turn compassion into action. Protecting life and health with our training throughout the years. We empower to heal the world. There is hope, assistance with disasters. There is shelter and love for our people. We can work together to help those in need. So volunteer with us and donate to show you care. There is hope, assistance
This message brought to you by the Bahamas Red Cross Society in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Gymnastics requires discipline, dedication, and a strong sense of balance, just like doing good in our community. In gymnastics, every move counts. Every step, every leap, every turn. Just like in our communities, where every action, every act of kindness, every effort to help makes a difference.
I am the creator of Posh Girl Symposium. Posh is a symposium for 5th and 6th graders at Queens College where they are encouraged to be more passionate, optimistic, strong, and healthy, and stamp out hunger. We collect unused quality stamps to feed the hungry. Some people don't have the basic necessity of food, so I wanted to be able to help.
Be the balance, the strength, and the grace your community needs. Together, we can achieve greatness.
Crime-free looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports. The opening ceremony of the Tabernacle Falcons William Dale Burns Thanksgiving Basketball Classic took place earlier today. Here's Matthew Martinborough with more on that.
The William Dale Burns Basketball Classic is fielding high anticipation from local and international teams. Present at the opening ceremony, the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Mario Bowleg, extends his words of support and encouragement to the teams in attendance.
At its core, the William Dale Burns Basketball Classic is a platform for growth, unity, and inspiration. First, this tournament serves as an unparalleled opportunity for young athletes to showcase their talents. It is here where dreams are kindled.
As tip-off time nears, teams are gearing up to claim the trophy for this year's tournament. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Matthew Martinborough.
Next in sports, scores from primary school girls basketball playoffs. Sunland defeated Maurice Moore 10-0. The Stingers was led by Gigi Colley, who scored all 10 points for the Stingers.
I feel good, and I've been practicing, and I hope we win our next game. I hope we be like the big boys and we win our championship. Feel very good that I was able to score 10 points.
It's just about teaching them the right things, teaching them strategy, teaching them plays, and, just teaching them the basic things of basketball.
The other playoff game saw Freeport Primary take down BMES 8-1. Hannah Davis scored all 8 points in the win.
It feels good to be playing basketball this year. I feel good. My team doing good. Feel a little bit nervous. It's very competitive, but I feel good.
Freeport Primary girls are not new to the playoffs. They've been in the championship the last 4 out of 5 years, so they know what it takes to win the game.
And that's your check on sports. Your Facebook friend of the day is next. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
Strong family bonds provide a crucial support system, often filling the gaps that might otherwise lead to reliance on social assistance.
If we get the family structure support system right, you won't see adult children willingly putting their parents in senior citizens' homes. You won't see anyone putting children up for adoption. We should be the safety net for when the family begins to have some challenges.
Addressing the root causes of dependency is essential, as our goal is to shift the focus from merely providing aid to fostering self-reliance.
We must be prepared to move persons from dependency to self-sufficiency to economic empowerment. And I'm asking the public to join us on this journey.
This has been the Heartbeat Brief, an inside look at the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting.
The Caribbean is facing increasingly severe climate extremes, and our most crucial resource, water, is under threat. Changes in precipitation patterns, prolonged droughts, and intense storms are impacting both the availability and quality of our water supply.
Water resources essentially is water for potable use, agricultural use, industrial use, and so on. And it can either be on the surface or it could be ground.
Although forecasts for heavy rainfall in 2024 might seem promising, these intense downpours often cause runoff instead of replenishing groundwater sources, which many islands depend on for drinking water.
On the groundwater side,
if it is that we get a drier than usual wet season, we need to be concerned moving into next year. Because if that's followed by a dry season, then we have a problem in 2025 for sure.
To address these changes, it is essential for communities to not only prepare for storms, but also to manage water resources wisely.
As a community, we can start investing in the development of the rainwater harvesting system. That's one approach. What you can do as an individual is to see how in your own household you can reduce your water footprint in terms of how you use water.
As we move through 2024, focusing on water sustainability and resilience is crucial. Together, through improved management and conservation efforts, we can advance the sustainable use of water resources and build a water-resilient Caribbean.
Your #1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that's going to do it for us here in the North. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. There's a live look at the Bahamas tonight coming your way next.
The news is brought to you by BTC. For the fastest speed internet, get BTC Fiber. Sign up for a fiber bundle and get a $500 Visa gift card. Visit a retail store to sign up today.
First at 11, a vow to expose and punish those involved in drug smuggling to the United States. That pledge from the Prime Minister amid a damning U.S. indictment. And both heads of the police force and defense force acknowledging the U.S. indictment represent a dark moment for both organizations. They too pledge those responsible will be held to account. Also, the man accused of killing a 72-year-old woman and cancer survivor faced charges today in court. The Bahamas tonight at 11 starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Royson Jones, and this is the Bahamas tonight at 11. Thank you so much for tuning in. A visibly troubled Prime Minister Day declaring that no stone will be left unturned in the wake of allegations of corruption at the highest level of law enforcement. A U.S. federal indictment accusing senior members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force of aiding drug traffickers in smuggling mass quantities of cocaine into the United States. Our Devontae Hanna has the latest on what is now being painted as a damning picture of collusion and corruption and a betrayal of duty that is unforgivable.
The tree will be shaken until every bad apple falls.
Tonight, the Prime Minister says heads must roll. This as a U.S. court indictment alleges a network of corruption that allowed traffickers to evade law enforcement using inside information provided by members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force and the Defense Force. It names 13 men, 11 of them Bahamian, led by Chief Superintendent Elvis Curtis, the officer in charge of aviation, Chief Petty Officer Darren Roker, a Defense Force officer, and Sergeant Prince Albert Simonet, a retired police officer. Ricardo Davis, William Simeon, Theodore Adderley, Joshua Scavella, Devon Roll, Darren Ferguson, Dominic Delancey, and Donald Ferguson II make up the group. The indictment says these corrupt officers and their cronies warned traffickers of DEA operations and protected shipments of drugs, ensuring their safe passage through the Bahamas into the United States.
On at least 3 occasions, and as recent as earlier this year, I raised with senior members of the U.S. enforcement and intelligence agencies my deep concern over what I view to be a sharp uptick in the interdiction of the flow of cocaine through the Bahamas. These revelations now underscore the validity of those concerns.
Prime Minister Davis is also calling it a direct threat to national security. He also revealed he is requesting information surrounding an allegation of an unnamed high-ranking Bahamian politician who the indictment says offered to authorize the assistance and involvement of Bahamian law enforcement in exchange for $2 million.
To those who believe they can outsmart the systems of justice and intelligence, let this serve as a clear and stern warning. The days of operating in the shadows are over. You will be found and you will be held accountable.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force has faced a series of corruption allegations this year alone, from bribery and abuse of authority to claims of direct involvement in crimes.
I will meet with the leadership of the Royal Bahamas Police Force and the Royal Bahamas Defense Force to discuss the allegations detailed in the indictments. The leadership of this organization must understand the gravity of this moment and the immediate need to restore the integrity of our institutions.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devontae Hanna.
Gathered at the House of Assembly today were representatives of the Department of Social Services, women rights advocates, and even 2 young tennis players who all had a front row seat when tempers flared as the opposition sought to have its say. Corvell Pyfram has that angle tonight.
Moments after the Prime Minister's communication on this U.S. indictment of top-ranking Bahamian law enforcement officers and possibly a senior government official being implicated, opposition members were on their feet, demanding equal time to be heard in the House. However, Speaker Patricia DeVoe was having no part of it.
I was on my feet prior to the member for Golden Gates being on her feet, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, I would like to proceed with the comments. That I have
Honorable member, I understand what you just said, but the rules of this House, and let me tell you, it is so challenging for people to often try to disrespect the movement of this. No, I am speaking.
Things only escalated from there before the session ended.
You can call for disruption. Let me. The motion is agreed. The business of this House stands suspended until 4th of December, 2024 at 10 a.m.
Moments afterward, Mr. Pintard called the Prime Minister's comments on this very serious matter more empty rhetoric. He scoffed at Mr. Davis's intent to bring legislation to deal with corrupt officials, noting these laws are already on the books.
We recently passed the Ombudsman Bill. What steps have they taken to give that teeth and power?
This latest stain on the country's reputation, Mr. Pintard says, bolsters the case for a commission of inquiry.
Why are they not taking every possible step to make sure that we get to the bottom of a matter that continues to claim lives?
Meanwhile, outside the House, things became even more tense as Coalition of Independence leader Lincoln Bain and his supporters got into a heated exchange with police.
That is wrong. And so I am speaking for the Bahamian people. Don't you ever put your hand on me again, young man. Don't you ever put your hand on me.
Be careful. Be careful what you say.
Listen to what I'm saying. Don't you ever put your hand on me. You be careful.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corvell Pyfram.
Well, on the heels of the Prime Minister's communication, Police Commissioner Clayton Fernandez issued his own statement, acknowledging that the allegations outlined in the U.S. indictment represent a dark moment for the Royal Bahamas Police Force. He says it's a sombering reminder that no institution is immune to breaches of trust. That aside, he accepts this does not negate the fact that Bahamians are disappointed and have every right to demand answers. The commissioner making it clear that any officer implicated in wrongdoing will face the appropriate consequences. There will be no shield of protection, he says, for those who tarnish the honor of the police force's uniform. The top cop's brief statement also acknowledging, though, that while there are many hardworking, honest officers who deserve a force they can be proud of, the journey to restore confidence will not be easy, but that the force will do the necessary work. Defense Force Commodore Dr. Raymond King expressing similar sentiments, contending that he too will not tolerate any breach of trust or compromise of the mission to protect the Bahamas. As we just heard from the police commissioner, those responsible for wrongdoing will be held fully accountable. The RBDF commander maintains the force remains steadfast in working with its national and international security partners to address matters of mutual concern and safeguard against corruption. With all the work of the U.S. Embassy in partnership with government officials to stop the transshipment of guns, drugs, and even people in and out of our borders, how does the U.S. Charge d'Affaires feel about this scathing indictment? Felicity Darville has more in this exclusive interview with the American diplomat.
The indictment states that police force officers and government officials provided sensitive law enforcement information to drug traffickers, protected them from investigation and arrest, and helped them with the logistics of moving multiple tons of cocaine through the Bahamas to the United States through airports and seaports. It also alleges that they denied DEA agents access to seize cocaine and said that certain drug trafficking targets were off limits. U.S. Charge d'Affaires Kimberly Furnish says the U.S. Embassy will continue to stand with the Bahamas to stop crime.
We stand with the Bahamas always. Good democracies like the Bahamas and the United States enforce anti-corruption and transparency and good governance. And we continue that work together. We stand steadfast with you in terms of the fight against all sorts of corruption and malfeasance. The trafficking of guns and drugs and people are important to both our countries. So we stand together in continuing that fight.
She said this indictment provides a powerful opportunity.
And I think it's a powerful opportunity for the Bahamas to continue that fight against corruption and to continue to work towards transparency. So we'll continue with our programs as we have for the past 51 years, working together for good governance in both our countries.
We also asked her about the guns coming into the Bahamas from a U.S. gun manufacturer.
We also have some wonderful programs together that are anti-gun. In this very courtyard, 2 weeks ago, I learned about gun destruction and proper storage. And we work together in all of that. So I think you're exactly right. It's a powerful time for building and growing together.
The United States Embassy has reaffirmed its commitment to work with the Royal Bahamas Police Force to stop the transshipment of guns and drugs to and from either country. But in light of this most recent indictment, they're going to have to work harder than ever. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Felicity Darville.
Days after her body was discovered, 72-year-old Vernencia Butler's alleged killer faced charges of murder, rape, and burglary in a magistrate's court earlier today. The defendant, 25-year-old Javon Forbes, was not required to enter a plea due to the nature of the charges. Butler's autopsy report completed just yesterday, confirming that she died as a result of asphyxia due to strangulation. Police also sharing that the 72-year-old was sexually assaulted and suffered internal injuries. Prosecution informed the court the matter will proceed via a voluntary bill of indictment that's scheduled to take place on February 27th of 2025. We also note, however, that Forbes has the right to apply to the Supreme Court for bail. Still to come, the latest Valley Boys update. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight at 11. More news in a moment.
At Commonwealth Bank, we offer affordable and flexible choices to get you back to financial fitness. Our personalized debt consolidation solution is built to fit any financial situation. One easy-to-handle monthly payment reduces your monthly expenses and gets you back on track to savings. Life is great when you're not weighed down by debt. Consolidate and live your best life with Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking services.
What is it that you want to do? And we want to have a good time. We want to be free to do what we want to do.
The Caribbean is facing increasingly severe climate extremes, and our most crucial resource, water, is under threat. Changes in precipitation patterns, prolonged droughts, and intense storms are impacting both the availability and quality of our water supply.
Water resources essentially is water for potable use, agricultural use, industrial use, and so on. And It could either be on the surface or it could be ground.
Although forecasts for heavy rainfall in 2024 might seem promising, these intense downpours often cause runoff instead of replenishing groundwater sources, which many islands depend on for drinking water.
On the groundwater side, if it is that we get a drier than usual wet season, we need to be concerned moving into next year. Because if that's followed by a dry season, then we have a problem in 2025 for sure.
To address these changes, it is essential for communities to not only prepare for storms, but also to manage water resources wisely.
As a community, we can start investing in the development of the rainwater harvesting system. That's one approach. What you can do as an individual is to see how within your own household you can reduce your water footprint in terms of how you use water.
As we move through 2024, focusing on water sustainability and resilience is crucial. Together, through improved management and conservation efforts, we can advance the sustainable use of water resources and build a water-resilient Caribbean.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies.
Notwithstanding the challenges of this year, the Boxing Day Junk Canoe Parade is just weeks away. Tonight, the Valley Boys 1958, led by Brian Adderley, is heading to Bay with a renewed confidence as it has received a brand new title sponsor. Walker's Industries stepping up to the plate, donating $75,000 to the historic organization. Frontline director for the group, John Williams, explains how the partnership grew into what it is today.
So Walker's Industries started off by sponsoring sousaphones for our brass section and also bass drums for our drummer section. So we were elated about that because those were things that we absolutely needed. With this sponsorship now in the amount of $75,000, we are going to use those funds for everything that we need, that it takes to get a group to Bay Street. No, it is not enough. Yes, we need more. So we're still looking for more sponsorships, more business persons to step up, because unfortunately we have not received our normal sponsorships as we should, as in the government seed funding and Bahamas. But we are elated, we're happy. In the spirit of Thanksgiving, we are giving thanks.
Williams says the group is grateful for the assistance, reiterating that a little goes a long way. This, as public relations consultant for Walker's Industries, shares what it meant for them to be on this side of history as the Valley Boys celebrate 66 years.
Through all things that have been happening, we've been preaching focus to our members and focus to our fans. This helps the morale that we've been trying to keep going. Morale is up. If you were here, you could hear the excitement in the members' voices, our section leaders' voices. And tomorrow, come out to practice. You will see a display of just how excited we are for the sponsorship.
Well, as you can see, what happened here today was a complete partnership between two historic organizations that came here to come together and donate and share a community-driven goal, which is to bring Valley Boys and Walker's Industries together for something that is new and refreshing. Walker's Industries is all about renewable energy, and that is why we're here today, to renew the energy of the Valley Boys.
Bahamian women have been policing in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas for 60 years. To celebrate this milestone, women police officers from various divisions throughout the nation came together at the Paul H. Farquharson Center to reflect on their accomplishments and honor each other. Felicity Darville had breakfast with the police this morning. Here's that story.
On November 23, 1964, the first 6 Bahamian women were recruited to join the ranks of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Ever since, women have been making significant strides, including rising to the ranks of Deputy Commissioner and currently, for the first time, 2 female Assistant Commissioners of Police. Deputy Commissioner of Police Lehman Delaveau said police women should be proud and should expect to lead the force in the very near future.
The truth be told, a woman commissioner of police is knocking on the doors of the Royal Bahamas Police Force.
Minister for the Public Service, the Honourable Pia Glover Roll, commended the women for significantly advancing the police force.
It's been 60 years since Eldora Kelly became the first woman to don a Royal Bahamas Police Force uniform, making history in the process and breaking the gender barrier for this Royal Bahamas Police Force. And I wonder, as I reflected, as I prepared for this, could she have known that back in 1964, and I'm sure there were many obstacles to her being the first, would she have known that in 1964, her act of courage would pave the way for a future of generations of female police who shine bright like a diamond, I must say, in your service in law enforcement?
U.S. Chargé d'Affaires Kimberly Furnish said the U.S. Embassy is working to tirelessly support the work of women police. And most recently, one female leader received a $10,000 grant to support her work.
Through the U.S. Embassy's partnership with the Pan American Development Foundation, a cadre of RBPF officers completed a 5-week training course in domestic violence last week. 76% of those participants were women. It is also notable that ASP Kendra Wallace Wims, is she here? I really want to recognize her. She was awarded a $10,000 small grant from the embassy to assist domestic violence victims and spread awareness throughout the Bahamas.
The 60th anniversary of women policing in the Bahamas was held under the theme, A Legacy of Service and Strength. As they gathered, their renewed commitments to lead the charge in professionalism and service with excellence. For Access Now, I'm Felicity Davil.
The Bahamas Reef Environment Educational Foundation, better known as BREEF, recently hosted an environmental journalism writing and podcasting workshop for youth at the University of the Bahamas under the theme Ecosystem Restoration. 20 eco-conscious students between the ages of 11 and 25 participated in group discussions and activities about threats to our local environment. The young reporters for the environment event also empowered students as they learned from BREEF experts about threats to the Bahamian marine environment and how they affect the community. BREEF Communications Officer and YRE National Operator Crystal Darling-Sargent says that the skills taught in the workshop are crucial for professional development. Cell phone lovers, get ready for BTC's Blue Friday, and it's all about deals upon deals. All BTC locations will be open on Blue Friday. However, the early birds can take advantage of specials when the mall at Marathon opens at 6 a.m. BTC even has a money chamber for new postpaid mobile customers, and whatever is captured will be placed on a BTC card. Here's BTC's marketing manager, Stacy Mackey.
We're starting off the morning with some fever grass and mint tea, some pastries, some chicken sauce, and through the day, because I know there are some persons that are going to be ducking work to come here to catch those deals, we will have some packaged lunch for you that you can take back to the office. I will tell you, whenever we have deals, you want to get those deals early because everything is while supplies last, and you don't want to miss out on these great deals because we're holidaying with BTC.
Marcellus Hall has a look at what's coming up in sports. Marcellus?
Coming up in sports for tonight, Battle for Atlanta's action continues as the men on the floor will tell you who won just ahead in sports.
Over a decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long, yet the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
Chapter 1 Bookstore at University of the Bahamas believes in the power of words. They have your next great adventure or that affordable textbook you need. You can go anywhere with a good book. To the library, to have coffee in a cafe, to the pool, to a cozy chair at home. And when you finish your book, you can browse for more good books from Chapter 1. Chapter 1 Bookstore, open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., or shop online all day, every day at chapter1books.store.
Strong family bonds provide a crucial support system, often filling the gaps that might otherwise lead to reliance on social assistance.
If we get
the family structure support system right, you won't see adult children willingly putting their parents in senior citizens' homes. You won't see anyone putting children up for adoption. We should be the safety net for when the family begins to have some challenges.
Addressing the root causes of dependency is essential, as our goal is to shift the focus from merely providing aid to fostering self-reliance.
We must be prepared to move persons from dependency to self-sufficiency to economic empowerment. And I'm asking the public to join us on this journey.
This has been the Heartbeat Brief, an inside look at the Ministry of Social Services, Information and Broadcasting.
Welcome to your ZNS Total Sports Check late night edition, everybody. Let's get you rolling as far as what's going on from the sports standpoint. They play championship action at the Battle for Atlantis today and also continuing throughout the course of this week. Looking at some of the highlights here, we saw Indiana Hoosiers going up against a squad from Louisville. Hoosiers ranked, Louisville not, but you wouldn't know it as the action continued to get very, very hot here as Louisville goes on to win comfortably by a final score as they run away with this thing down the stretch, and they go ahead to win comfortably, as we mentioned, 89-61. Their head coach afterwards pleased with the win, but says there's a lot of more work to be done.
Obviously, the caliber of teams in this tournament, you can enjoy the win for about 1 minute and 47 seconds. So we'll turn the page and get ready for our next opponent because we go again tomorrow at noon. So we've got to recover our minds and bodies and prepare quickly, and we're fortunate to get to compete again tomorrow at noon.
And to high school hoops here in the country, GSSA basketball action yesterday. SC McPherson over T.A. Thompson, 19-13 in junior girls action. SC also a winner in junior boys. They topped T.A. Thompson 45-20. In senior division play, R.M. Bailey Pacers easily over Doris Johnson. In girls play 28-7. Their boys also getting it done. They took down Doris Johnson here 48-29 ends up being your final score. Hey, that's it. Your check on sports for you here on this Wednesday. Don't forget, we got Wednesday weather just ahead. Stay with us.
Our company offers a simple philosophy, open hands. What do open hands mean? If you keep your hands closed, nothing comes in, nothing goes out. If you keep your hands open, a lot of things comes in, a lot of things goes out. We cannot expect to be a successful company without blessing our community and blessing our country.
My good friend and valued client, Dominic Stirrup, approached me following a meeting we had and told me of the idea that he had of feeding 10,000 Bahamians on Thanksgiving.
There was a lot of details to put together, had to figure out how to get it done. But at the end, it was worth it. At the end, it gave me a heart of gratitude to know that our company is reaching out to so many persons.
We invite you on a journey to witness an extraordinary chapter in the story of the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, a tale of compassion, unity, and the true spirit of Thanksgiving.
Got termites and need to get rid of them fast? Trust Rentokil Initial. With over 60 years experience in the Bahamas, the global brand, training, and expertise can't be beat. Only Rentokil Initial gives you a 3-year warranty and payment plan options on termite fumigation. No one can match the range of treatments we offer, such as fumigation, pre-construction treatments, termite monitoring, and more. No matter where you are in the Bahamas, we will come to you. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name, Rentokil Initial.
It's time now for a weather check with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good night, Basil.
Good evening, Royston. Trough remains across the southeast Bahamas, and hence we continue to have some clouds and a few showers in that part of the Bahamas. Over the northwestern islands, dry conditions remain in place, but there will be a frontal system moving into the area by the ending part of this week. And our temperatures around the islands this evening, 72 degrees in Marsh, Abaco, Green Toll, Key 71, Freeport, Grand Bahama, 71 degrees as well. Allenstown, Bimini, 79. Berry Island, 77. 77 also in Harbor Island. Rock Sound, Eleuthera, 76 degrees. Fresh Creek Central, Andros, 79. Camp Space on Andros and Black Point Exuma at 78 degrees. Over in Otterstown, Cat Island, 75 degrees. San Salvador and Rumkey also 75. Georgetown, Exuma, 77 degrees. 77 in Clarencetown, Long Island. Crooked Island. And if we can take you over to Betsy Bay, Maguana, they have 78 degrees there. Ackland's at 78. And Matchetown, Niagara, the mercury column is just around the 75-degree mark. And the Turks and Caicos Islands, they have a temperature of 82 degrees. That's going to do it for your temperatures around the family of islands. We take you now to our satellite picture to see what is happening there. And we see that troughing remains over the extreme southeast Bahamas with some showers around the Turks and Caicos Islands as well. Your forecast for tonight, a bit breezy this evening, otherwise clear to partly cloudy skies with a low temperature of 73 degrees. And tomorrow it's going to be mostly sunny and humid, a bit warm, 83 degrees for your high temperature. And the extended weather forecast, dry conditions right into the weekend, despite the fact that that frontal boundary will go through late on Friday afternoon. But we'll see temperatures slipping into the low 70s over the weekend, and they will further drop into the 60s as we head into the early part of next week. Royston.
Thank you as always, Basil. And that does it for the Bahamas tonight at 11. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. Thank you for watching, and good night.
At Tonic Williams Darling Highway, I'm Tijaro Hudson. This is ZNS.
Hello and welcome to Your Government in Action, a presentation of Bahamas Information Services. I'm Carissa Williamson. With the continued goal of empowering and providing opportunities for the youth, 63 recruits of the third cohort of the Bahamas National Youth Guard received awards and certificates at a graduation ceremony held at Baha Mar Convention Center on November 4th, 2024.
Those who know me know that I don't generally speak before my boss speaks. I will make an exception on this occasion to just advise the Prime Minister and all of you here and all who may get to hear this of some facts. The facts are that members from the National Youth Guard are already discharging functions that they were trained to. In the wildfires in Andros, a youth guard from Cohort 1 assisted, as have youth guard during hurricanes. I'd also advise Prime Minister that the public-mindedness of the participants in this program is solid. We have 4 youth guards participating in the HYPE program, Helping Young Persons Excel, an intervention program in our primary schools. We have Youth Guard members participating in Let's Swim Bahamas, a program by Andy and Nancy Knowles, teaching primary school students how to swim and introducing them to Bible stories and memory verses. And so, Prime Minister, your vision for this organization is being realized. Just one last thing before I call on the visionary responsible for this, and that is Deputy Commander Defense Force and Deputy Commissioner of Police. We have these minimum requirements for recruitment to your services of 5 BJCs, English and math, and any other 3. And if we had a BJC called Looking at the Sea, that would do. I see no reason, DCDF Deputy Commissioner, that the training that these young people have received ought not to be able to bridge the additional 3 subjects required. And as I think I have some ability to affect that in the Defense Force by Defense Force instructions, and very persuasively speaking to you in the police force, Prime Minister, unless you overrule me, the National Youth Guard will become a bridging requirement for recruitment to the Defense Force and the police force.
It is indeed a pleasure to be here to celebrate this 3rd cohort. So let's give the newest members of the National Youth Guard a rousing